It sounded pretty crazy at the beginning, and I remember saying, but how would that even work?
It's hard to explain our family dynamic, but once you see it, I think it becomes kind of clear.
Like, we're a family. Nothing's gonna take away the family that we've created.
The two of them are engaged, him and I are buying a house, and the two of us are currently adopting a child. It's quite the triangle.
I think we ordered 150, and this is the last stack. And I think there's 50 in a box.
That would make sense because there's 3 boxes.
I have described Amanda and Caitlin before as the single healthiest interpersonal relationship I have ever seen.
I would call Caitlin my soulmate, and I think soulmates don't have to be romantic. I think that they can be platonic, they could be friends. I know Caitlin from becoming friends with her in high school.
I started working for her family when I was in college, working in home with her siblings that have developmental disabilities. And so when she came back from college, we got an apartment in Southeast Portland.
I got a degree in teaching. I have my teaching license. I liked teaching and I liked being around kids, but the reason I liked teaching was because I was around kids. I just realized the way that could happen is I could be a foster parent.
And we had both talked about doing it at some point, and maybe when we were married or when we had other kids or something down the line.
It was something she had been thinking about separately, something I had been thinking about separately. And it just was kind of like one of those moments we really should do this.
We started the process in July of 2019, and then we're fully licensed by February of 2020.
Amanda and I have an incredible story of we met on Bumble.
I told him on the first date that I was going to be a foster parent with Caitlin because we were planning on announcing it the next day. Honestly, that might have been the thing that intrigued him the most.
But no, I was more just impressed and amazed by the heart of wanting to do that than I was concerned about the logistics of how it works.
I think I knew that I was going to be in love with him from that date.
We met Bella the end of March of 2020, and they called on a Thursday and said there was a baby born earlier this week.
They didn't let me in the hospital because it was the start of the pandemic.
We picked her up that day, and she's been here ever since. Reunification is always the goal in foster care, always. And we went into foster parenting with that goal in mind, but in her case, that was not possible.
It was clear that Bella was not gonna go with a biological family member. They hadn't found anyone that could take her.
It wasn't just okay, we're doing this. We talked about it for a long time. Not because we didn't love her, we did love her, but we were is this feasible? Is this fair to her?
By the time she was 5 months old, we were asked in court what we were gonna do, and we said that we would be her adoptive placement.
A little while after they had made that decision, Amanda told me and was basically just is this a deal breaker for you if we do this? And I said no.
At this point, Amanda has a long-term relationship and it's headed towards an engagement, and I'm still single but would like to get married someday, and we had goals for our lives that did not look like us co-parenting a child for the rest of our lives. But we were co-parenting a child now, and it was great.
He brought coffee. Bless his soul.
For a long time, that was the point of stress. It's how do we live? Where do we physically live? What kind of space do we live in that makes this work?
We are getting the keys to our house. We decided on a house where we can cook meals together in the same kitchen and spend as much time together as we can or want to, but also have space for separate living. Yeah, I think it's the perfect house. I'm really happy that it's a corner lot. That's my dream. And I just noticed there's a pink tree in the front, so that's also my dream.
There's a laundry chute, which is roughly Bella-sized, which is bad.
Oh.
But we'll fix that.
So this floor has 2 bedrooms here, so this will be my room, and then we have Bella's room across the hall with a full bath in the middle, and then upstairs there's 2 full beds and a full bath too.
Want to go upstairs? Caitlin, Chris, and I will all co-parent Bella together, and we'll all take over the same responsibilities of taking care of Bella and any other kid that comes in our care. Chris is just jumping in, and yeah, I think we're pretty lucky.
I proposed on November 13th, 2021. We had already committed to the three of us are raising Bella together. Oh, hi. And Amanda and I had talked probably a year before then about, that's where this is headed. Caitlin was in on it. She came and designed the ring with me.
So Chris and I are getting married in September. So this week we get the keys. Tomorrow we'll start painting, and then on March 18th, Bella will be adopted. Yay! Caitlin's legally the one on all of the paperwork. We made that decision when we first signed up to be foster parents. She was older, and at that point I was only 23 and she was 24, so we were still pretty young, but she was older, so that boosted it a little bit, and she didn't have as much student debt as I did, so that just made sense. She has a much smaller family than I do because there's 11 kids in my family and there's only 2 in her family, so explaining that for the home study was a lot easier than like me explaining my family. Right now, until Chris and I get married, it's Caitlin and Chris on the house, and eventually Chris and I will be married, so I'll just hook my name onto it when I have the same last name as him.
One of us will complete the adoption, and then the other and the other spouse will carry a power of attorney. But there isn't an actual rule book for a legal adoption between multiple parties. And so we're just kind of making it up.
She's officially yours. This child was very lucky to be placed with this loving mom and family from the very beginning, and has just thrived in her care. Now it is clear and legally true that this will be her forever home.
It's bigger than anything I could have pictured. All of this is bigger than anything I ever pictured.
You turned it on. You bounced the mouse so much that you couldn't move your hand.
I think of like Amanda and Chris having kids or me having kids, I'm like, this is the way to go. If they're up all night with their infant and they wake up and they come into my living room in the morning and are like, we did not sleep at all last night, I can say, hand me the kid and go sleep.
I was telling one of my parents, and they're like, yeah, but like, what about this and what about this? And they said, oh, so Bella's just gonna have 2 moms and 2 dads? And I was like, yeah, I have 2 moms and 2 dads. Lots of people have 2 moms and 2 dads, except in Bella's case, no one had to get divorced for that to happen.
It takes a village, it really does. We need more than just a mom and a dad, or 2 moms and 2 dads, or whatever the family looks like. We need more than that. Kids need more than that. They need lots of people to love them.
It's like this really unusual, I guess, family unit, but we're really proud of them, and they're building it around the love they have for this beautiful little girl.
Happy birthday, dear Bella. Happy birthday to you. Okay, blow it up.
Ready?
Blow it up. Yeah!
I kind of was hesitant to say like my daughter or oh this is I am dad, because it was a weird dynamic and because it was not what people usually think of as like a family. But after a while I just kind of stopped doing that. I was like, I'm the happiest I've been in my life. Our family is wonderful, and I don't know why I'm using like couched language when I describe it to people.
I don't know how else to say it other than it feels like we're just called to be a family.
We're around a diverse group of families. We've got, heterosexual couples, and we have same-sex parents, and we have, we are around a lot of different families. We have families that have biological kids, we have families that have adopted children, we have families that are fostering. So I'm hoping to continue that, and so that when she looks around and is like, my family is not like so-and-so's family, we can say, yeah, and neither are any of these people's, and it's fine, it's good.